Yeah. We did the creepy chat GPT Antichrist things. And I think it was Martin in the comments who said this fella basically is behind it, and it's pretty obvious why it answers Antichrist style because of people like this. And this is kind of my thing. If you listen to the revelations of in the the book of Revelations, it does describe the time we're living in. But you think how much that's what I kind of think. How much of that is actually naturally playing out, or how much is it being forced by weirdos like this who are trying to bring around the end times by fulfilling prophecies? It's like also that's not how it works, which means if it is that way round, that these are just a bunch of weirdos trying to force the end times. It means we're going to go into all the death and destruction of it and not get the savior because you can't rush God. It don't work like that. But also, if you listen to Revelations as well, like the devil doesn't win. Like these people don't win ultimately. So, but then I also saw a satanic leader, basically the leader of the satanic church. I think in New Zealand, maybe. But yeah, who's now Christian. But yeah, he said that the reason why they're trying to bring around the end times is because the satanic version obviously isn't the same. That there how it ends is a completely different story to Jesus whipping everyone's ass, basically. But then you're like, well, that's fair. But if you're being the anti thing to Christ, and we have this thing already, there's the Bible where you got the idea of Antichrist from, and then you make something up years later with a different ending, why would you think that that's going to play out when the very thing you're trying to bring about is it just doesn't make sense anyway, like. But yeah, that's what it is how much of this is a natural progression into the end times, or how much of it is these freaks trying to force God's hand. But it don't work like that. But yeah, this is Peter Thiel or Peter Thiel, either way, the fella behind AI, basically, and some weirdo Antichrist guy, apparently. Let's go.
This is my very specific question for you, right? Is that
Well,
you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but again, there are these different gradations of this we can describe. But is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety, and we've submitted.
Yeah, but that's why he's saying it like, yeah, it's true. Absolutely true, especially of our culture. And if you listen to the Bible, peace is, but safety is not God's really ideal for you. He wants you to be strong. He wants you to be capable. You don't get that by keeping something safe. Otherwise, you could just completely restrict mankind from doing anything. But yeah, this is what I mean. I recommend people listen to Revelations, but not just Isaiah, the book of Isaiah. His revelation also is in crazy. Describes the world like we're living in. You can see it tallying up, and other ones I've listened to, but they're the ones so far that I've actually proper listened to is Isaiah and Revelations. And Revelations is crazy, but like I say, how much of it is being forced? Is that hand being forced? Because like you see, even like Joe Rogan, where he says the natural progression. Someone says something about AI, and Joe Rogan says, "Don't you think that's the natural progression for humanity to interface, like like have be chipped?" It's like, how can it be? How can that be natural? Is quite literally the opposite of what is natural. If you put something in that can make you run faster, lift heavier things, or do you know what I mean, whatever you want to program it to, it's unnatural. Like it's, I don't know how you can say, don't you think that like that's the natural? It may be the natural progression of where we're going, but it doesn't mean it's natural in any sense. But then, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen anyway. I think these idiots are going to bring about the end time scenario before it's meant to be the end time and basically just ruin everything. But yeah, I will find the lecture of his. Um, Martin said there's like loads of lectures or free lectures. Um, Peter Thiel Antichrist lecture. Yeah, there's one. To be fair as well, the interviewer asking that question didn't shut up, and I think because he was worried about what he was asking. They, yeah, there's a thing here debating Jordan Peterson. Peter Thiel rejects sacrifice. Watch him debate Jordan Peterson. Yeah, I might have to watch that. Yeah, we definitely have to do more of this guy. And to be honest, it's kind of true what he said about submitting, and it is true that that's why you got to listen to Revelation or read Revelations and Isaiah, but Revelations, because you just be like, this is spookily lined up. Something that was writ 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, is spot on to what we're living. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Sweet.